Okay, I think I fixed it, everyone. You hear me now? Welcome, everyone. I'm sorry I got started so late. How about now? Let me know if you're hearing me now. I'm just was having some technical difficulties there. Okay, thanks. Big shout out and hello to everyone. Sorry about that. Dumb way to start. I've been having it's just been a long hurricane fun time here in Louisiana. Hellos to my wonderful friends. Welcome to Clobberin Times issue number 900. 900. 200 on YouTube, but 900 overall. The 12 plus years been doing this. Great to see so many of my good friends here. Sorry for the technical problem there. The great Lord Thoth is here, buddy. LT, Avon lives, long live the Legion, buddy. Snortapoopas, Cuber. Hey there, Snort. You're a good bear. D-Bud, Man of Iron Martin. Hey. Haas, Haas. I'm a new person here. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for popping in. It's good to see you there. Steve Mitchum, what's up, buddy? I hope the youngster is doing well, bro. Good to see you, buddy. Darius Munchausen, welcome. Stephen Thompson, Captain JT Skywalker. Hello there. Good to see you. RN, as in Raymond Feliciano. The beautiful Purple Valkyrie's in the chat. Love you, Purple. Good to see you there. Punk Waddle, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Bop. Let's see what we got here. Your Muslim uncle. What's up, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you. Apollome's Minion. Lovely to see you, dear. Thank you so much for popping in. Hopefully I got that fixed. Claude Perishable is here. I knew he would be here somewhere. Thanks for the Pat S. What's up, brother? I hope you guys in New Orleans are batting it down like we are in Baton Rouge, getting ready for this another stupid ass hurricane, but we're used to them, aren't we? Thanks, appreciate that. Sorry about the sound difficulties there. Bop. See if I got everybody so far. Hi, Sandra Feliciano. Good to see you. Welcome, everyone. The Clobberin Times number 900. Make sure I'm just scrolling down. Make sure I got it. Dadman, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. And joining us here is the wonderful Purple Valkyrie. Hey, Perp.
Hello, Clubby. Good afternoon.
Thank you for popping in. I know you've been busy. I hope you got some rest in the middle of that busyness.
I've just had a fantastic stream of Golgo 13. That was awesome.
Golgo.
Yeah,
cool.
Loved it. Had an absolute blast getting to chat with him.
Oh, that's excellent. I got to hear a little bit of it, but I've been trying to get this thing ready, which I probably screwed it up. It's probably not all that ready, but all these pictures. I've been bored. This one. Well, what I got planned today, I don't know, I took it all out of me. What I've been doing, of course. And we're worrying about our hurricane on the way.
Yes. How are you guys doing?
Hurricane's just that's another way of saying Friday. In this case, Saturday. Down here, hurricane season down here lasts from June to November, the end of November. So you're expecting one. Brightest day. And Zach's, good to see you, my friends. Thank you for being here. It's always hurricane season here, pretty much for half the year it is. So, and it seems to always strike around this time up until about 3 or 4 years ago, Purple. I used to go to Dragon Con in Atlanta every year for I went 20-something years straight and only missed one because of a hurricane in 2008. Let me tell you, they always hit, because I believe Dragon Con is going on, starts next week. They always come around this time. Katrina was just, its anniversary would have been just a couple of days ago, like at 16th or whatever. So Katrina, and then the week after Rita. So yes, they have lovely names, don't do these hurricanes. So yeah, to say we're used to it, I guess it's an understatement, but
it's still an inconvenience.
Sucks.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. Everyone you go store up on stuff, and then you gotta. Our situation right here is that we've had it all going on. We've had every kind of hurricane here, and we've been okay. But it does kind of take its toll on wherever you live. we're supposed to get the eye. I don't think it's supposed to start getting bad until tomorrow morning, so they say. So at least I'll be able to get this show and hopefully tonight's Saturday Night Star Trek show done.
Yes, I've been tracking it because obviously I know a lot of our friends live in this area, and it seems to be kind of on a really weird course at the moment. It's kind of changing direction a lot.
Yes. It's they're always unpredictable though. Nirant and Axamanda Bear, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Yeah, you never can tell. You never know what you're gonna have there. But what can you do? But until such time as it destroys us, we shall persevere and hopefully have some fun today. And because it is not only number 900 for me, I thought that would be the perfect day to celebrate, because today is, or would have been, I guess, as the saying goes, the 104th birthday of the King of Comics, Jack Kirby.
Absolutely. Happy birthday to Jack. Happy birthday
Jack,
to the King.
The King, indeed. And he could, because he's still with us, even though he may not be with us in physically, he's with us in spirit. His spirit lives in all of his creations, my friends. Dadman Walking with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Dadman. You are a good fella, and I've had a chance to hang out with him a little bit on the Fortnite streams and stuff like that. And he is a great individual and a cool dude. And for a Gator fan, just kidding. Dadman, good to see you, buddy. Hail to two of my favorite content creators and two very kind people, Clobby and Purple. Well, we know Purple's kind. Me, come on, man. Look, I'm a monster. You know that. I'm the thing, after all. Enjoy the stream, Clobby, because Kirby means what he does. Kirby does mean a great deal to me. You are correct, sir.
He does. And guys, don't you listen to Clobby. Clobby's a wonderful guy, and he knows it. He's just too modest.
Well, what about this Clubby guy? Because a great buddy, your Muslim uncle. Hey there, buddy. Good to see you, and thank you for that $4.99 super chat. I appreciate it, Clubby. I know you meant Clubby, but now I might just start changing to Clubby. Now someone's going to do that, that's for sure. Were you at the DC, being Dragon Con, where they taped the Shadow over In His Mouth radio play? It's my inspiration of wanting to have you all do one for OG Trek. The last one I went to, your Muslim uncle, was 2016 or 17, something like that. So I don't know. And from that, but up until that point, other than 2008, I was like 20 something years straight that I went to the thing. So I don't know.
Play of Lovecraft. That sounds awesome.
I could have been there. Yeah, that does sound amazing. So I don't know the answer to that question. I'm sorry, your Muslim uncle, but there's a good chance I was. Let's see who else is here. Well, so far I think was caught up with saying hello to everyone. Purple, I made the foolish decision. Now, the other night when I was doing a show, just showing a bunch of random Kirby covers on Monday night, because this is Jack Kirby month on Clobberin Times, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, he said it was 94. I went in 92, 93. I'm not sure if I went in 94. That's a good question. But I know that at some point, like around the mid-90s, I went for like so many years straight. So it's possible I was at that one, but I can't really remember. I remember Atlanta Fantasy Fair and Dragon Con used to kind of blur together for me.
94 was the year that Jack passed.
It was. And in that case, I don't know if I went to that one. I went to Dallas Fantasy Fair that year. So I don't think, 94, when I heard that on February 6th of 94, I got a call from a friend of mine who happens to, work for, he did art for Marvel. He was working for Marvel at the time, I believe. And this was, it was on a Sunday, Purple. I'll never forget it, because I didn't realize it later. As you know, there was no internet or any of that kind of stuff really to speak of. Mm-hmm. So things didn't travel like wildfire. Usually you see things like that on the news, people who, but I got a call and I found out later, it had only been a few hours since he passed. It went to the comic book industry like wildfire, and, with no internet. And I got a call, and that was a rough day, because the two greatest, I know I go on about it all the time, everyone, I'm sorry, but the two greatest geek experiences of my life, were the two times I got to meet and spend some time with Jack Kirby and his wonderful wife, Roz.
Yes.
So
I've heard a lot of people over the years that have been lucky enough to meet him, and nobody has ever had a bad word to say about him. That everybody that's ever gotten to meet him has said he was an absolute gentleman. You know, he was a wealth of knowledge. He was so welcoming, as well as his wife.
They were amazing. The only reason they went to that last con that we got to meet the second time in 1990 was because Roz told me this was Atlanta Fantasy Fair in 1990. She told me that the only reason we're here is because Jack answered the phone. She went to the store or something, and he answered. She said he could never tell anyone no, and he wasn't in the best of health at the time. His arm, his hand was not in very great shape or anything like that. And she would have probably politely said no, but Jack could never say no. They used to take people. They had like a lot of young people would hitchhike across country and different things just to go knock on their door to see. Hey there, Janet. Good to see you there, Janet from another planet. They would go knock on the Kirby's door, and they would take them in and feed them and show them a studio and give them art and different things like that. Lynn Wein and Marv Wolfman, I think, did that as well. Two very well-known comic book writers who went on to be two big-time comic book writers, amongst others.
Before. Yeah, they almost had a pilgrimage, if you will, to go see him.
I would have. If I'd been old enough. If I'd been old enough, I'd have been one of them. I'd have walked it. And a lot of people just think of Jack as an artist. He was a creator. You could be someone that, because not everyone likes his art and it doesn't appeal to everyone. I understand. I mean, I don't understand it because I love it, but I everyone has different tastes, as you know. And you can be someone who doesn't really care for his art. You may not be a big fan of all the characters that he had. You may be a fan of 0 characters that he was involved with creating, and you still owe Jack Kirby for what he did but if you like comic books at all, and even some other fantasy mediums and genres that he branched out into in terms of his influence, you owe him something of some kind of respect and some kind of love, because he touched so much. He inspired. Well, put it to you like this: there's a mag that I love, Purple, that I've got every issue of, thanks to the great Tomorrow's publishers, called the Jack Kirby Collector. And there's a run. It's a quarterly, mag. So some only up to like issue 75 or something like that. But it started in the mid 90s. I have every one, and there was a running piece through that mag for a long time, and they do it every now and then, called, quote, Kirby as a genre. What other comic book artist could be called that? And it's because of how much he created, all the different ideas and concepts and different things he came up with. There are people who didn't even go into the field of comics that were inspired by him. Other art forms, music and prose fiction and things like that, will cite some of their earlier, formative influences were from comics and Kirby. In fact, some of Kirby's work. So.
Yes, because he didn't start with superheroes, if I remember correctly, did he? It was more like action comics, like boys comics.
Well, he started, he was born Jakob Kurtzberg this day in 1917. And some of his early stuff, he worked for some newspaper syndicate stuff where he even did 3-panel satirical, sometimes even political cartoons and stuff. I remember I'm reading the story about somewhere where he did one that was critical of a politician or something like that he made fun of a politician, and one of his editors said, "Who are you to do that?" And he said, "I never know." He said, "I know a crime boss when I see one." He came from a tough neighborhood. Jack had a fight. He did it under the name of Teddy. He had many different aliases that he used when he'd do strip work in the in the 30s. The name Jack Curtis. There were like a handful of different names. He eventually landed on Jack Kirby, but he did a lot of comic strip work for different syndicates before he worked in comics. He even worked for Fleischer Studio for a short time as an in-betweener, or whatever you want to call it, where he would actually draw animation sales for Popeye cartoons. Eventually breaking into comics. The famed Eisner Iger Studios. Oh, look at that! My wonderful first officer, a wonderful Raquel Briggs. I love you, Raquel. Thank you so much for that $10 super chat. You were too kind.
Hello, lovely.
She's such. I can't wait till tonight. We got 4 more episodes, everyone. By the way, yes, we have 4 more episodes of Star Trek tonight, folks. Reviewing the Next Generation season 2 right now. Reviewing all of Real Trek. Have a great show, Captain and Lady PV. Just blowing in and blowing out of the show chat. Super busy today. That's okay. Later, Gator. I will see you tonight, and I love you. Thank you so much for that, my wonderful friend. You're the best.
Yes, you guys are going to have another amazing show tonight.
It's so much fun, Purple. And again, it's so interactive. We have so many wonderful people hanging in that love Trek and love to comment on it. And we've hit on something there in terms of we'll give she'll give information on the show, background of the episode, then we will review it, give our rating and a review. Then everyone really enjoys being able to chime in on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm someone. Why would you? Oh, someone's. Well, we're about to get started with the presentation, but first, I have someone who wants to say something. So I don't know if you know my friend Claude, but he does know some Kirby, and we're going to let him come in and say something. Then we're going to get started. Let's see here. I'm going to send him a link. And I was going to get you in Monday night for the full show, Claudius. But if you have something to say now, I might let you talk for like 2 seconds or something. I want to thank. Oh my goodness! There you go. Your purple clobberin uncle. Thank you, your purple clobberin uncle. He changes his name, but he's still got the picture of his beautiful daughter there, Maddie's daddy, Steve Mitchum. So you can't fool me, dude. Picture. Yes, it is. She's such a sweetheart. I ought to tease you, Steve, like you used to do me. Like he used to tell me, and you don't deny it. When my youngin', when he was very young, my youngest Ashley, he would say stuff like, "Oh, she would say something like, he'd say, who's the real father? She's too cute to be your kid." I'm pretty sure you used to say that, Steve. Or I had another friend, like when she was crying, someone would say, "Why is she crying?" And I would go, and one of my friends would say, "Well, she realized who her father is." So, let's see here. Oh, he's here. Purple, I don't know if you have met Claudius, Minimus, actually. Minimus?
I have barely interacted with her show in the mornings because it's in the mornings.
Before you do that, let me say thank you to Glenzer, 828 Super Chat. Thank you so much, Glenzer. Hail to the king and congrats on the 200th show. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you. Go ahead, Purple.
Hello, Claudius. It's always good to see you, sweetheart.
It's not really good to see him. I've seen him.
The Maroon Amazon! I mean, Purple Valkyrie. I'm sorry.
How did you know she's going to change her name to the Maroon Amazon? That was supposed to be a secret.
The Fuchsia Viking.
Ooh, I like that one.
There you go.
Viking lady, of course.
That's your pseudonym. Anyway, I'm just when you start talking about Jack Kirby and the conventions, I remember that most of the time I went with you to these things, and while we did go to have fun and see everybody, the 2 times we saw Kirby, that's all we cared about.
Of course.
That was it. It was like that with when I saw Gil Kane. I didn't care about anybody else that was there. But Jack Kirby, you're right. Jack Kirby and Ross Kirby were the nicest people I ever met, and I actually interrupted Jack Kirby. I got him to. I gave the book Hunger Dogs to his wife Roz to get him to autograph it. Now he was sitting next to Mobius and talking to him. So I interrupted him while he was talking to Jean Giraud, got him to autograph Hunger Dogs for me, and then he handed it back to Roz. She handed it back to me. I opened up, looked at it, and all it said was Jack Kirby. And that wasn't enough for me. I said, can you get him to personalize this? And she said, she's like elbowed him. He's talking to Jean Giraud, Mobius. She elbowed him and said, Jack! He wants you to personalize it. and he wants to know what my name is, and I'm like, I can't speak. I'm pointing at my badge. And he saw it. He goes, "Is there an E on the end of that?" I said, "Uh-huh." So I interrupted him twice. Two legends, a fanboy, interrupted them. And I'm feeling like I was maybe 16 years old when I was actually, let's just say, early 30s. And it made me feel like a kid. Both times I saw him, I felt like I was a freaking kid, and that I snuck into some place where I did not belong, sort of like, here now. But, and I do that in deference to Purple Valkyrie, not you. You can go yourself. Yeah, as usual. But I just wanted to say that since we're celebrating Jack Kirby, we kind of do it every day.
Yeah, we do.
Because when I heard about the Jack Kirby collector from Tomorrow's, it was hard to find them, so I ordered them, and I got the first 10 of them, and they used to put them out in paperback
pamphlets. I have them.
Yeah, they were. It was like your local newspaper circular that they got stuck in your mailbox. They were really, and I've got all of the first 10 or 15 of them, and then they started putting them out in trade paperbacks. They collected them and they added stuff to them, and I think I have the 7 of them. And I'm pretty sure they just stopped doing that because it's probably a Herculean task to do that and to do the thing every couple of months, because it wasn't monthly. I mean, and who would have thought that all these years later, they're still doing a Jack Kirby fan magazine? You'd think they would have run out of stuff by now, but they haven't, because there was so much that he did and so much that he touched and so many new people. I'm trying to think of who it was. I think it was Tim Sale was talking about the first time he saw a Kirby drawing, he didn't like it. The blocky fingers, and then he saw it a few years later, and he was able to appreciate it more because he had been in the business for a while, and he saw what Kirby was doing. Kirby created a style, and then other people aped it. Other people were trying to get by doing Kirby. Do you remember Rich Buckler?
Of course.
He's passed away, but he was involved in a controversy where he basically traced a bunch of Kirby drawings or redrew them. I don't know. I'm not sure if he traced them, but got into some trouble with not with the law, but when Gary Groth found some obvious swipes.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yep, remember it.
No, I'm just saying that was just the biggest, most blatant example of that. Not like all these other people who want to be Neil Adams. Like I think Grell started out as Neil Adams. Buckle even did Neil Adams, and names running away from me. Bill Sienkiewicz started out as an Adams clone, but so many people started out as Kirby clones, mostly because when they went to Marvel and they wanted a job, Jim Shooter would hand them a page and say, "Draw like this." And if they didn't think Kirby was worth anything, they wouldn't have said, "Draw like Kirby." And some of them did. Some of them went up and got their own styles, but Kirby was the template. And a lot of people, we should also show some respect for, I know you're probably going to do this later, for Joe Simon.
Right. I got a lot set up. Everything's set up. Right. It took me like 3 days to set everything up here. So,
well, let's knock it down. I will. I'm going to run now. But because the skies aren't really great, but you're getting there, and we got stuff to do around here. So,
all right, men and business.
All right.
You should check the chat out because Steve Mitchum is really being nice to you.
Wait, are you? Has his identity been stolen? I think that's a fake Steve Mitchum.
He said you were in your early 30s, in the early 30s.
Yeah. Well, that is Steve then. Thank you, sir. You cinematic fight choreographer. You notice I said the word choreographer.
Darts Aster, what's up, buddy?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go now. You go ahead and let Purple Valkyrie take over because I'd rather hear her than you any day.
I wish. If I bowed out right now and she took over, the channel would actually
Yeah.
50 viewers would pop in like immediately. Let's face it.
Immediately. All right. See you guys. Talk to you guys later.
All right.
Stay
Thanks.
safe, love.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
When it comes to how prolific, I was give you a slight example, then I'll start with our presentation for today, folks. I just, like I was telling you earlier, Purple, I made the mistake of, Monday night I was just showing a bunch of random different Kirby covers. I didn't really have a topic, so I was just showing different, covers are always have you covered.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided, at first I wasn't going to do any kind of a countdown or anything, because how do you choose them? And then, and it's all you, all the fault of all you fine folks in the chat. Maxfield Von Priestley, MVP, good to see you. It was great hanging out with you last night on Nick's show. Good to see you, my friend. They were all like, "Oh no, you could do a list." Oh, I don't know. It's Kirby.
Yes.
What was I do? 25? You can't do. Go ahead.
Yes. How do you put them in order? What's the criteria?
It's ridiculous. And I'll give you. I was went looking for my gold edition hardcover of the Jack Kirby checklist by Tomorrows, and couldn't find it. And I said, oh, well, because it's buried. So let me get my digital edition, which I buy all my mags from them. And they have you get a free digital edition of everything you buy, which I don't use them much, but I said, I'll just pull that one up and I can use it for reference. And for some reason they didn't, a couple years ago when that book came out, they didn't have a digital edition. Matthew Pounder, good to see you. Thank you for being here, my friend. So I wrote to John Morrow, who produces, who publishes, the publisher. I've been buying from him since the 90s. I've been, dealing with him since the 90s, and it's a nice dude. And he said, "Oh, we didn't do one for that, but here, you can have this for free." And he sent me this digital of it.
Oh, that was nice.
Which was very nice of him. He's a good dude, and he did this just to give you. I'm just showing this for a second here. This is the checklist right here. It's how many pages is this thing? This thing is about 130 something pages, and this is not even the revised edition. Just to give you a little bit of a context here, there are some conservative estimates that say that Jack Kirby produced. The Drusif, good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Thank you all for being here. Produced something like roughly over 17,000 comic book pages in his 40-something year career. And that would only put him at number 3, behind the great Kurt Swan and the great John Buscema. However, more credible sources put it at closer to 20,000, which will put him at the top. 20,000 comic pages.
Mm-hmm.
And about over 1,400 covers. How do you pick 104? And you know what? We all know my Fantastic Four bias. I was struggling to be fair to other comics. There are a ton of these pictures I'm going to show. There are a ton of Fantastic Four.
Nothing wrong with Fantastic Four.
It's the FF, but it's just, this checklist goes on and on and on and on, and it's a really good one, by the way. But I just thought I would use that as an example, just showing that for a sec, how much the volume of what he's created is just astonishing.
He was prolific. That's incredible.
Well, they say, because I'm not a comic book artist, but they say that some artists were lucky to finish maybe like 4 or 5 pages in a week. Jack could knock out, legend says he could knock out 4 or 5 in a day, which was, if people might say, is that a big deal? If you're a comic book artist, it is, and I'm not people who do this new stuff on computers.
Yes, so all of this would be hand drawn.
Yes, all of it. Everything he did, he wouldn't, if he were around today, he wouldn't be touching the computer to draw anything. He wouldn't know how. And so, Jack drew. I agree. Thoth, 20,000 plus, got to be, which means close to 1,500 covers. So what I did was, and again, as the great Barry Windsor Smith once said, Jack Kirby could not draw an uninteresting page. And he was right. And great, and Barry Windsor Smith started his career like everyone else back then as Barry Smith. He didn't start before he had the Windsor in the name and became famous for drawing Conan. What he did? He moved over from across the pond and he aped Kirby. His early comics are just absolute rips of Kirby, like Claude was talking about. When you went to Marvel back then, they said draw like Jack. Stan, his edict to everybody was draw like Jack. See, Ditko's the only one he didn't do that to.
I thought Stan's saying was I invented that.
Well, he said I created Jack, but but he was unbelievably prolific. So I've got some pictures here. If I can figure out how to pull it. Now, as you know, StreamYard, you can't put that as many overlays as you'd like. So I'll do a little slideshow of a bunch of them, then I'll go with like 85 that would fit on here, if that's okay.
Wow. Absolutely. So how did you get this list? Is it ones that mean something to you? Is it the ones that are the most popular?
Yes, I went with no, I didn't go with I kind of, when you get toward the top, which is we're counting down, so go bottom, when you get into some of them I go by significance. Sometimes it's just like how busy and fun a page is, like a cover to a comic book. And in better days, when there was a healthy, thriving comic book industry, a comic book was supposed to make you, as a kid or a reader, whether you were walking into the comic shop or you were like me as a kid going into the 7-Eleven or the drugstore, it's supposed to pop off the rack and make you want to buy it. Then you open it up, and sometimes, obviously, there was a time when there was many different cover artists. I mean, the cover artists would vary from the the interior artist, but that's not here to there. Ren Zero, that's a new person I haven't seen before. Welcome, Ren Zero. Good to see you. Kirby Crackle. There you go. Enough said. And so, yes, it's got to be. I use that criteria, but I wanted to add some variety. Otherwise, it would have been 104. He did 102 issues of the Fantastic Four. And there's so many great covers. But yes, sometimes it just looks so cool. Other times I'm like, that's a significant cover of a very special issue. I kind of went all over the place with it. But I wanted to add a little bit of variety, show a little bit of his Golden Age stuff as well. I got a little bit more than 104 here, but let's see. Can everyone see? You can see that, okay, right?
Yeah, sick, right?
Fantastic Four 100 speaks for itself. Spoiler alert, that's not really the villains. Devil Dinosaur. Again, one thing that if it's got a lot of Kirby squiggles and Kirby Crackle, I'm all over it. I mean, this was in his Bronze Age purple. My God, I liked his Bronze Age covers almost better than some of the Silver Age covers, which won't look like it by this list, because he was really at that point just outrageous Kirby. His style developed over time. Mm-hmm. In the Golden Age to Silver to when went into the Bronze Age, he just didn't care anymore. He just went these crazy. I mean, look at it. It's a dinosaur and it's a person. He could, but then you go into the Golden Age stuff too. Look at the, again, I just love some of the structure of these old Golden Age comics with the, with these covers. Oh, I'm showing it's showing, I better go fast on some of these because it might get me in trouble, right? Yeah, and again, his some back into his Golden Age, and his style definitely developed. And then we're back to the Bronze. Let's see. I love these. Look, big exaggerated guns.
That is cool.
I love this. Yeah, and this is when he kind of got back into comics. It was a big deal for the beginning of the independent market for comic shops and stuff.
And I love the cost of some of these. We got it 20 cents, 25 cents.
Yes. Oh, I'm so old. Before I first started buying them purple, they were 20 and 25 cents. I hope someone here was older than me and they were 15 cents and 12 cents. But yes, nice price, eh? God, I love the demon. Let's see, the demon. Let's see. Gone, the form of man. Rise, the demon. Etrigan.
Etrigan, yes.
I love him. He's a great Jason Blood. Destroyer Duck, I miss you. All part of the special lawsuit edition, suing the ass off of Marvel. It didn't work, but Hey, there's a movie coming out this year that well, never mind. Won't anything to do with this, will it?
No, people have already forgotten it. So.
They won't be eternal. Hey, the Comic Relief Crusader, good to see you. We're just showing some Kirby covers, some Kirby greatness. Yeah, Kaylee Chow, Roll Tide. All right, let's see. Few Eternals covers. Again, we're talking in the 50s here. Fighting American was one of his greats. Loved it. J-Man, what's up, brother? That's true. Yeah, and another thing, Purple, I could have dominated it with Thor covers. The two comics he did most in the Silver Age was FF and Thor. They were his babies, and he did them for such a long time. Oh yeah, I mean 102 issues of Fantastic Four, and then I don't even know the number on Journey into Mystery / Thor.
I always loved his take on Silver Surfer.
Loved
that.
We will see some Surfer, that's for sure. But see a lot of Thor going on there. And then he did a lot of Western comics. I want to make sure I threw in some Western comics.
I miss Western comics and Weird West. I miss those.
Oh, yeah. Love those. Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, it's Monster Comics before, they started in with the Fantastic Four and bring, I love some of these monster covers. Crazy. And science fiction. So look at that. I mean, look at again, this is some of his earlier 60s work. Look at that. I mean, that's no monsters, no superheroes, just Kirby being weird and being apocalyptic, aside from science fiction. He could do it. Look how he did. I didn't even include any of his crime covers or his romance covers. He did a lot of romance comics. Look how so versatile. I always loved this one for some reason.
That's great.
Oh,
we've got one for 12 cents.
Yep, a 12-center there. Yep. Like I said, I had to cut it back. I had to be a bit held back on Thor and FF covers because they would dominate. Yep. Two Gun Kid. And this is, of course, Kirby drawing himself. What if the original Marvel movie had become the Fantastic Four? Kirby is the thing. He actually did the interior on this one. It was one of the few interiors he did. It's the last time you could say he sort of drew the FF, even though they were not really. And little golden. The template for the Fantastic Four right there. Challengers of the Unknown. A little FF annual action going on. I love Psycho Man. More Fighting American. I'm gonna go to our. Yeah, this was what he did. He went for some reason. I don't even really exactly know why. He in the early 70s he went and did a magazine called "In the Days of the Mob" with a little help by I think a little inking by Adams or something like that. Again, weird, huh?
Never heard of that.
It's a rare one. There's some Surfer.
There he is.
Silver Star.
God,
some more Thor. On which one?
Oh, on the Surfer one. I just love the backgrounds that he gets.
I love that stuff. It's colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Big, crazy, exaggerated Kirby at its best. Thor. Tigra. And so now we get into I've got the ones I was able to load on here to make them easier to show. Purple. I've got we'll go backwards here. Just about 80-something covers of, and we'll go quick, everyone. I don't want to bore everybody by showing all these covers, but I love looking at them, and I wanted to show how. I mean, it was tough to pick them, and there are always going to be people saying, rightfully so, I guess. What about this cover? What about that cover? Like I said, FF covers alone, I could do all 102 of them.
Mm-hmm. And it would.
But I wanted to vary it.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, I wanted to vary it though a little bit. You know what I mean? I love this one. Yeah, man.
That's cool.
The imagination of this man, and this is sort of the early. I just, he's just incredible.
I love how the ants even look surprised.
Wait, it does, doesn't it? Oh yeah, the ant's like, what the hell is this guy? And I used to not like word balloons on covers, but it worked back then. Oop, I went to the surfer. And only Kirby would tackle 2001. Why would you do a comic book of 2001? But he did it. And it's great. And it's just amazing.
That looks great. Like I said, I love his space scenes.
Yep. I'm no artist, but I've heard him called the king of composition. And one for you, Perp. Well, there are a lot for you because you got some Doom. Always love this cover.
Love this cover.
Yes. The name is Doom. Only 12 cents.
There's so much going on in this cover.
It is. Well, see, and I was doing this a lot all this month when I was showing a lot of his art, not just covers. He can tell more of a story with one page. In other words, with no panels, be it a cover or even just a splash or a 2-page splash. I mean, his panels are dynamic enough. I mean, his multi-panel pages are dynamic enough. He can tell a story with a cover. I mean, that says it all right there. They're, you know, Doom has them trapped in the Don Su with the Crystal part of the team era.
I never liked Crystal.
Yeah, she broke Johnny's heart. Damn her. Oh, my goodness. Don't worry, LT, in deference to you, buddy, I've got you some Surfer. D-Bud says that's his favorite Doom cover. Absolutely. This is when he went back to Cap in the mid 70s. And I like a lot of people don't like this run. I liked it. Of course, granted, I like it mostly for the art. It was some stories were crazy, but in a fun way, you know. His stories were really out there at this point, but I liked them. More Cap. Yeah, another thing too. Everything could be a Cap cover almost. You know, again, look at this. Look at that. That's dynamic action. It's one page and it's moving. You know, he could make it look like action even with one panel or one page. Always loved this one for some reason. I don't know.
Yes,
Look at all the background. The background is just amazing. And that's, again, there are times when he does like a blank background and it's still powerful because of the images, but something about the background on some of these. Love this one. Well, I love everyone on here, so I'm biased. But again, when you talk about action on a cover, look at Thor getting smacked off. Even
he's just got beat off the panel.
Getting smacked by Absorbing Man. And even Vince Coletta couldn't ruin Kirby, folks. And you could go from action-packed cover to humorous cover with Neil Adams inking Kirby. Yes, Don Rickles on the cover of I got a crappy scan there, sorry, but yeah, Jimmy Olsen. This was Purple when he moved to DC in in the early 1970ish, where he left Marvel, started out the Bronze Age.
Nice.
And I love this. Okay, y'all gonna have to forgive me. I'm gonna have a lot of FF here. Let's just face the fact right now. And I love this one.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Last
that
Star
is awesome.
I hope you'll all forgive me for having too much FF coming up.
You can never have too much FF.
I don't think so either. I'm not even apologizing. I'm just kidding there. You know what I did? You know what I did realize though, Purple, when when we get closer to the top, because because we're going backwards here, counting down to number one. I mean, they're not in super. In other words, order when you get into the top 20 or 30 is something significant, but in this, is number 84 that much greater than number 74 or 64? Not so much. It's just tough to put them in any kind of prioritized order. So I was trying to go for variety, and but when you get, I realized, Purple, when I started getting toward the top, Marvel. I mean, very little, because he did mostly Marvel. There's some DC. I tried to get some a decent representation of DC in there. Case in point.
I love the perspective on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Really cool.
I love it. This fourth world stuff. And again, we're going to stay in the fourth world for the next one. This I always really like this cover as well. I like a busy cover. That's not the most busy cover he's done, but still. That's this Kirby faces. Let's see. And sorry if I keep missing the chat, everyone, because I have to break away from it to go pick the picture. Now, here's another one for the perp, folks. I love this cover.
Yes. I love this cover.
Great issue. It's interesting that for 200 they chose to just put Reed on the cover with Doom, but still it works. Instead of the whole group, you know.
And I always loved that the machines that he would always put in the background as well was one of his space scenes. You know, he had that eye.
I could do a whole show on Kirby machines. Whole show on it. So yeah, I love this one. Yeah, and of course the faces are by Perez, everyone, and the bubbles, but still. Gone, the form of man, rise the demon Etrigan. I love this one. I love the colors on this creature. With the Kirby crackle all over there. Yeah. I love Etrigan.
So was that known as his trademark?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, there was a group, a band that formed a comic book geek where they do a lot of great comic book geek songs. And they named themselves Kirby Crackle. I love Kirby Crackle, by the way. They're really good. I guess because I like their goofy comic book songs. Then, you know, you're going to find a lot of Thor covers here with him swinging his hammer. That's just the way it is, folks. Again, perspective. Again, you got a lot going on right there. A big battle scene.
I love the crowd just fleeing as well. That's so good.
Yes. That face again at the bottom, at the corner there. Yeah. Oh my God. This is a classic right here. I mean, it could have been even higher, to be honest. Just because Kirby didn't do Spidey often. He did it when it counts, but indeed, Kirby Crackle. More demon, man. What is it? I'm obsessed with the demon, I guess.
You don't see Etrigan much anymore. So it's nice to see him.
You know, they did a good job on him and on Batman Brave and the Bold and on the Justice League cartoon. And he was on a Batman animated animated series, I think. Episode. Gotta get a little Tales of Suspense in there. Some Fury and Cap.
I like how far apart the guy's legs are in the foreground.
Yes! Whoa.
That's
yeah. He had to fit the red caption thing in there. He ain't never going nowhere again now. People are going to accuse me of being snob to the X-Men. That's not entirely true. I like the X-Men. Kirby, you know, created them after all, but I always liked this cover. I think Wally Woodington on this one. Let's see here. But so yeah, don't say I didn't give any X-Men to them. Oh yeah, I know I'm biased to the FF. Sue me.
That's a great cover.
Oh, I love it. Not even a lot of background on this one. But it's action packed. Great issue, by the way. This has one of the great slugfests of Kirby. In fact, my buddy John Shimino, who I had on last week, who is the agent of Roy Thomas, and he wrote a big article in the new alter ego called the Top 10 Marvel Kirby Slugfests. This one made it. I mean, it's one of those things as a kid, you don't care, but when you grow up, you go, oh, it's kind of silly. Ben had no reason to start a fight with Surfer, and you don't care. It's so fun to watch. He was totally in the wrong.
Did it anyway.
Said just because he thought just because Surfer was talking to Alicia, he thought you're stealing this girl, so he's gonna go punch him. He's gonna go punch on a god. What the hell? More Thor.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, love that one. I always liked it when he there was another Hercules when I didn't put on there. Thor Hercules when I didn't put on there, but I always liked this one for some reason. Let's see. Yeah, FF55. Oh my god. And MVP. That's the issue you bought. Remember I told you last night that we will be seeing that again. My new friend MVP there. Maxfield. That's the one you just bought that issue. Let's see here. More demon. I know. I don't want these covers were always really cool. But some of the weird ones are kind of fun. Like 2001. I mean, Again, why would this was years after the movie, by the way, many years.
I didn't even know there was a 2001 comic. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, he did it. Nicholas Dickens, hello there, welcome. I haven't seen you here before. Great to see you. Welcome to Clobberin Times. Yes, he did this in the mid 70s thereabouts, and then he even had a spin-off book called Machine Man, which we'll see something on later.
Yes, he also did The Prisoner, didn't he? In a comic
It was
book.
it was never published, but yeah, and I just a couple years ago they got like something similar to an artist editions of it, where it was Kirby, and actually Gil Kane did a little stuff too, adapting Arrival, the first episode. Now again, they did do more than that though, but it would have been nice. At least I got that book finally.
Yes, I've seen it before. It looks like a great book.
Yes, yeah, I love it. It's really cool. I love this one. I don't know what it is. Just so much crackle.
There's a lot going on in that. I love that.
Yes. He has just cut Iron Man's throat with crackle. And I guess he's going to be okay, though.
I hope so.
Okay, everyone. I know. This is another one for Purple here. Some Kirby.
Love this one.
Yes. Doom's the big cat right here, isn't he?
Yeah, and I always loved the way that he drew Doom's mask, very kind of industrial looking.
Oh, yeah.
Very kind of stripped back.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Again, it's always cool. How there's so many covers where he emphasized Doom like being gigantic in, outrageous way. Like, I don't know. It just gives a perspective to him.
Yeah, do you think that was to kind of highlight his ego?
It could be. I mean, I don't know.
That's how he saw himself.
I think that, and just to present that what a great threat he is.
Mm-hmm.
He truly means something. I just think it's to show that Doom is the ultimate FF villain. Sure, Galactus is a force of nature, but there is no greater villain than the Doomster. And he probably wouldn't appreciate me calling him the Doomster. Which is why Johnny Storm did that, I guess. Okay, one more, maybe more demons. Which way? Remember Witch Boy?
That is cool.
That's Clarion the Witch Boy. Another Kirby creation. I'm a broken record with the FF, I know. But this is one of the earlier this is like the second Thing Hulk tussle, I believe.
And you're a big fan of when the Hulk and the Thing go up against each other, aren't you?
Thing Hulk battles are iconic. They are Superman in the original Captain Marvel has a bit more historical significance because of what happened in real life behind it. But for me, it's Thing Hulk. And the Thing's outmatched always, but it's still always a good fight. And so, I just love it. Let's see what the chat is saying here.
I love that the rest of the FF are in the background trying to break them apart.
Yeah, they're like, you guys don't kill each other, but they're not going to jump in either. They know Ben needs to do the slugging. We talked about 2001. This was the spin-off. I love Machine Man, by the way. Spin-off. Again, how you find a way to spin off a Marvel quote-unquote superhero from a 2001 comic book. I don't look. It's Jack. What can you do? But he did it, and it lasted a little while. He did it. Okay, everyone, stop. You're not making fun of me, but I'm making fun of me for being too FF obsessed. I realize. We're doing. Look again. Look how big he is.
Yes. Oh, they always draws him larger than life. I love that. There's a good way to put it, Purple. He is larger than life. Phantom Outsider, what's up, bro? He deserves to be, We're gonna be nice to some more. I always love this one here, this Fourth World stuff. And see, look, Darkseid's just a face compared to Doom. I mean, he could have put Doom, Darkseid big on there, but even Darkseid's a penny ante operator compared to Doom. But I love this one. New Gods #2. This was, I think, it was the first appearance. Not the first appearance of Darkseid, but the first one full appearance or something, if I'm not mistaken. But I probably am. Go farther back, just in the nostalgia right here. I mean, just always like this one. This is what they call, for a while there, the Avengers. A lot of them left, and Cap ended up with just 4. It was just Cap and it was Cap and Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and
It had a title. They called them Cap's Kooky Quartet. That's what Marvel called them. Stan's fault, probably. That sounds like a Stanner all the way, doesn't it?
That does sound like something that he would come up with, to be fair.
I heard the fans maybe, but I don't know. It could have been him. But yes, I always like Cap's Kooky Quartet. Let's have some Thor again, folks, because why not? I love this one.
I love this. Yeah, and again, a fantastic space background. I love his space backgrounds.
He's popping off the cover. You got Galactus there.
Galactus just chilling in the corner.
Yes.
About to get bopped by Mjolnir.
Even Vince Colletta could not ruin Kirby, folks, and that's saying something. Sorry to disparage Colletta. No, I'm not. He sucks. This one could have been higher. This is one of the great Kirby covers right here for me.
Yeah, this is one of those that's been replicated many times, if I remember correctly.
Well, we've talked about that, that 90s FF cartoon second season that I love so much.
Mm-hmm.
In the opening credits, remember they have different costumes on the show, but the opening credits, they animate this a little bit, this scene for like 2 seconds.
Yes, they do.
And I just adore it. We got to have some more Cap, folks.
The look on Cap's face. To be fair, I'd be pretty shocked if I had missiles coming out from between my legs.
I'm a Cap bias, I guess. But again, I love this era because this was when he was throwing it all the way. His art became so outrageous, and I mean in the best way. It just every page made me not care about the story, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It just made me go. I just love like it just eye popping to me. Yes. His Bronze Age style. And that's just me. Some people don't get into it, but
and I love that he used the yellow background because it makes the red, white, and blue pop.
Yellow backgrounds always. Glinzer says, imagine if Kirby covers were compatible with 3D glasses. Kirby did a comic called Battle for the Three-Dimensional World, which came with 3D glasses. I still have mine. That was in the 70s or 80s or something. I don't know if you've ever seen that one, Glinzer. But yes, he was 3D without that, though. Yeah. All of his stuff is 3D. Back to the FF, because I'm repetitive. I got so much FF on there, I should be ashamed of myself, but I'm not. By the way, this is the interior, of course, is by the great George Perez and Joe Sennett, but I love this cover, and this is one of the great stories. It's one of the hilarious, a really hilarious story as well, where, I don't know if you're familiar with this one, Purple, but they're coming back from fighting Galactus. Ben had gotten turned back into back into Ben Grimm. Mm-hmm. He was wearing the exoskeleton suit. And in the previous issue, he pissed off Galactus. And so Galactus said, screw you, you get to be the Thing again. And he blasted him, and it blew up the suit, and he turned out to be the Thing again. He was pretty pissed off. And then they ended up back on Earth. They were on Counter-Earth. And in this one, the Impossible Man shows up and decides he wants a comic book made about himself, so he storms Marvel Comics and throws a fit. Yes, and Stan and Jack and Roy Thomas and Saul Brodsky and John Verpool, I think so, and George Fritt, they're all in this.
That is one heck of a fourth wall break.
It was fun, though. Yeah, as a kid, I loved it. But yeah, I agree with you. The yellow background always does work for that. Yep, absolutely. Okay, the demon again. Did I already do that one? Oops.
Yeah, we've had this one, but still awesome.
I hit that with my accent. Sorry, folks. Okay, FF again. Excuse me.
There he is.
I have this one, of course. There you go with Doom, the Doom theme of him being giant, which, of course, in the comic, they don't really do that, but the covers, it just stands out somehow. I mean, Jack did that, and I could be wrong, but I think Jack's the only one that used to do that with Doom.
Yes, and it seems it was only Doom that he did it with. He didn't do it with any of the other
ones. Says something, doesn't it? That Victor Von Doom is the man. Always, again, you know what I love about this one is, look, he used actual photo background, which only Kirby did. Adams used to rip it off, but yeah. But you didn't see it on covers much. He did it on the interiors a lot. Adams did it on some covers, and Kirby did it on some. So that's what makes this cover unique here, or special.
So would this have been a picture that he then inked over, or is it something that he would have traced over and used as the background?
don't actually know the answer to that, but I think he just used a picture, and yes, I think he probably had Mike Roy or somebody ink over it or something, or do some kind of weird, I don't know, some kind of photo trick. He used to do that all the time. I'm sure you've seen Kirby collages on this, and
Oh yeah,
I don't know how I wish I knew how he did that stuff.
it looks
But,
great though, because again, the colors really lift off the page.
Yes, yeah, I love that. Hey, Mark D with the C, brother, what's up, dude? I always love this one. This is again, I love the background on this one as well.
Poor Iron Man.
Iron Man's, yeah, always getting his ass kicked, it seems like. All right, everyone. I know I'm obsessed with the Fantastic Four. I'm sorry, but I love this cover. First Black Panther.
Back when he had a cape.
Yep, that's right. He did that little cape for a short time. That's right. Oh man,
I loved the way that Kirby did Johnny Storm.
You know what? It's the only Torch I love. I cannot stand all these other iterations. Even some good artists. I like Alan Davis. I like a lot of the orange where he's orangey and you can see his hair and his face and his fur on his uniform and crap. To me, he should be red with the embers and the fire around him and other than him, some definition to his face, he's a lot like, similar to the way the original Human Torch was drawn in the Golden Age, which I love. I just
more like a kind of burning ember rather than like a flame as such. Yeah.
See, some covers just speak to me because of the characters and the arrangement and stuff. This one does a lot because you got First Panther, the FF's there, but you got all the cool background stuff you got the machines. And then this next one just, for some reason, there's just a beautiful cover that I've always loved right here. I mean, it's 2001: A Space Odyssey with Mr. Machine, who becomes a Machine Man. Just kind of, again, so Kirby. Pops out on you. So many of these things. Let's see here. Now, there's a photo thing again, see? Well, I don't know how he did that one.
Yes, that looks cool. I love that.
Now, the Kirby, Adams inked him on this, and Kirby, I don't know if you know, but when he did Jimmy Olsen and when he drew Superman for these Fourth World books, Kirby's heads were cut off. DC wouldn't let him draw Superman's head, so they would get people like, in this case, Adams, I think, did most of this one, but a lot of times they would cut it off, and then they'd have Nick Cardy or Kurt Swan or Kurt Schaffenberger replace the Kirby head.
Why didn't they allow
They
him
didn't think his head looked right for Superman. They were idiots.
Really?
They were jackasses. Always really aggravated me. Hey, Darius Bunch out. Oh, good to see you there. Okie dokie. The next one, Lord Thought. I hope you're still here, bro, because this is another one I'm dedicating to you, sir. Yeah, and my excuse to do another FF one. This is one of my favorite Surfer covers right here.
Yes, love this.
That red, the crackly space red background. I don't know. I'm no artist, so I only know what I like. I get to use the excuse. I don't know art. I don't know art, but I know what I like. As they say, that's the excuse when when you really don't know what the hell's going on with art.
That's why I love the Silver Surfer. He's always in motion, and Kirby captures that perfectly.
Yes. When he created him, he was totally surprised Stan. He didn't expect. And that's what's great about when you can sell a character who's doing something goofy like riding a surfboard. And it's not goofy to ride a surfboard out in the ocean, but to make a guy who can go through space on a freaking surfboard and it works. Okay, he's called the Silver Surfer. It's a silly name. It's a silly idea, and you don't care. It's that good. It's that dramatic. It's that engrossing. You just love him, and he has a great story, and he's a great kid. We used to jokingly call him the Cosmic Crybaby because he was always sad, but it's
I have
compelling.
A soft spot for Silver Surfer.
I love him.
Kind of philosophical.
You have seen that cartoon, I'm sure, that 90s cartoon. That's a great cartoon.
That is a fantastic cartoon.
I need to watch that again. I've only watched it like 20 times. I love it. Time for some more Son of Odin. I love this cover. Look at the big sword. Look at that. I don't know why the sword's big, but who cares, right?
He loved drawing him swinging Mjolnir, didn't he? That was
He
kind of his
sure as
thing.
hell. Almost every Thor cover I have, he's swinging the damn hammer, which is for swinging, so why not? But I love it. He's got Volstagg on there and recorder, and this is and that sword. I can't remember. I'm sure someone probably remembers the issue, so I'm not sure why. If for any reason the sword is gigantic, but hey, what can you do? It works for me though. Now this is I always like this nice. It's not a great scan, but it's this blue background for this cover for some reason. This series only lasted about 4 or 5 issues. The only piece of original art of Kirby's or anyone else's, really, other than one Schaffenberger page that I own, is from number 5 of this series, I believe, that I bought from Jack and Roz.
Oh, I would love to own an original piece of his art.
I bought 2. I gave one to Claude, the Minimusness, when we bought him from him in '86, when the first time we met him in Dallas. And it's back to, it was $35. You know what it would be now?
Thousands and thousands, I would imagine.
Probably so.
Mm.
Well, let's see here. MVP did a great video the other day. What if the Silver Surfer possessed the Infinity Gauntlet? Great story. Cool. I would have to check that out. MVP, Maxfield Vaughn. Sorry, dude. Priestley. I'm sorry if I'm mangling that MVP. MVP rolls off the tongue. Please go to his website, to his YouTube page. If anyone can put that link, he is just getting started out. He is an awesome dude, and please subscribe to him. I don't have the link on me. I'm sorry, MVP, but I'll try to get it later. But please, everyone, he's just getting started. He's a great guy, and I got to spend some time hanging out with him on Nick's show last night. So
Nice. I'll check it out. Thank you.
Indeed, he's a really cool guy. Hey there, T. Oberg. What's up, bro? Well, I can't spoiler it. We'll just have to see there, D, if we see that. I wonder. Who do you think you're talking to here? I know we're seeing a lot of Demon.
Hey, there he is.
Number 1. I promise it's the last Demon. I did short change Commandy a bit too much. I'm sorry, but he'll be there. I bet you're gonna be shocked like this next one, Purple. You're ready to be shocked.
Go for it.
Turn on your shocked face, because it's another FF. I know you're just astonished.
There's the Watcher with his short shorts.
Yes. Yeah, something just iconic about that cover, though. Sometimes I just go with the iconic, like it just has to be done. And then I go with some great cap again. I love this. Again, speaks for itself. It talks about a lot of things on this cover, and
that's a great background.
And it was a big old gigantic. I love me some Treasury editions, So, then we got some
Toga Watcher.
Yeah, Toga. Toga Watcher went to a Toga party. He's the Watcher. He's allowed. Yeah. Kirby had a lot of help with the inks on this one, but he did most of it. But I think he had. I can't remember who helped him ink on that one. And again, when we go back just to kind of classic old school stuff, the floaty heads cover. I don't know what it is about the floaty heads, but say I love Wonder Man, so I thought we should have some. We got to have some Avengers in here, don't we? So again, shock time again. I hope you're sitting down, Purple. Fantastic Four. Okay, I know everyone. They're not really saying it. I mean, yeah, but I know they're going, man, what is it with you and the FF? Gojatron, welcome. Yes, that Galactus trilogy that you mentioned there, was it Comics Relief? About a year ago, I and my dear departed wonderful friend, the great Mark C., whom the show's named, the comics version of the show's named after now and forever, we did a review show where we reviewed The Coming of Galactus, all 3 issues. But this cover is just amazing. Something about that background, And this is when Franklin was born. How about some more cap? There's your yellow background again.
Yes. Love that yellow background.
Yes, I have this on the cup that I have water in, my tumbler that I have water in right now. It's got that cap on it. But we need to do a little more DC love. I love this cover. I don't know why. It's just weird, isn't it? New Gods, #1.
That's a really odd background. I like it, but
It is strange.
stands out.
Looks like a black light poster. And again, sometimes you just got to go iconic. I like when they have a big, like, bright background like that, though. Smurfer, and you got Subby, you got Torch, and Strange Tales. Let's see here, bop, bop, bop. And this is way too iconic. And guess what he's doing with his hammer?
Yep, there he goes.
Well, it's his first appearance, so it had to be on here somewhere. I mean, just belongs in there. But get ready, I got another one for you, Purple.
Awesome.
Doom is moonlighting.
Oh.
And again, look, he's big, like how big he is.
He's still big. He's not as big, but he's still the biggest character on the page.
Yep. Still, I mean, perspective in this case, but still, he's dominating the cover. All right, everyone, I'm gonna have to shock you all once again. I know you're not expecting this, but it's another FF cover. Just popping right out you with the Inhumans. Love it, love it, love it.
That is cool.
Yeah, I've always really loved this one, especially Reed pointing at something like, "Go get him." But we can't all be superheroes, can we? We can be Nick Fury, though. I love the weapons and the designs of these crazy suits these dudes are wearing.
Yes, like you mentioned it earlier, how good he was at, machinery. He really was.
God. Kirby machines, nothing like them, nothing like them. And then this one I love for not just how Cap looks, but the background. It's like a nice, busy, spooky background. He's pretty sad. Here lies Bucky. There's a Red Skull.
That's a lot going on there.
Lot going on that one. You just got to sue me, folks. It's FF all the way. I love this cover. It's going to be an whole FF show, but this was great, because I always liked Sandman. Yes, he started as a Spidey villain, but and I know those. If I had those powers, never mind. We should always acknowledge the things that are the big starters, the big classics. So this is a cover that's been really homaged a lot as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Strangest superheroes of all. And as you probably know, Purple, you know how popular the X-Men are, but they weren't at first. Not in their early run.
No, they had to be rebooted, didn't they, if I remember correctly? And a
Yeah.
whole new team was brought in.
Well, yeah, they went like 60-something issues, whatever it was, and then their comic became reprints, until Giant Size X-Men 1, then they picked up their old numbering at X-Men 94. If that had been any other era, they would have started it at number 1 again. And before anyone says, yeah, I know that's not really Cap, spoiler alert, but I love this cover. Yes, indeed. All right, let's see. We're getting there, folks. Yep. I love this one just because it's a classic. A Kirby pose.
That's a really weird one. Not just for the composition, but because they're only like little posters behind him.
Yeah, they own posters. I don't... Jack, what the hell were they on posters for? I don't know, but I love it. This one could be higher. This next one, I freaking love this cover, and it's a Bronze Age spectacular for me anyway. I think D-Bood said he had it on a shirt when he put it on a T-shirt. I want this on a T-shirt, man.
That is cool. And again, the space background, I absolutely adore it.
Absolutely. Kogi Pan, good to see you there. I love this one. And I like Iron Man having a nose. I'm sorry. I know it's controversial. I'm fine with the nose, okay? All right, Purple. Test time now.
Okay.
What do you think is doing with this hammer on this next cover?
Ooh,
Bum,
I'm gonna
bum,
I'm
bum,
gonna
bum.
go out on a limb and say spinning it.
I had this on. I do have this one on the shirt. Not the whole cover, just the Thor image.
It looks like he's not even actually fighting anyone in this one. He's just
He's just about to
casually
take
spinning
off.
it.
Yeah. Well, he has to do that to take off the fly, I guess. Eastland, hey there. Eastland Burkholder. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing all right. But yeah, it's I don't know what he's just about to take off flying. This next one is one that can go. Look, we're getting to the top anyway, folks. This is one of the all-time greats. I just love this cover. It's simple in some ways, but the background always intrigued me.
Mm-hmm. And again, I'm guessing this is a photo that was used. Do you think?
Yeah. I want to say yeah, and then of course him bursting out of the page like that could be, but it's always just been amazing. I really and yeah, and for when I know one will ask, but yeah, Cap number 100 I thought about putting on here. Now, this next one is what I call a beautiful, disturbing kind of a cover that has that yellow background you talk about that uses it to full effect. This is just amazing. And yes, it's got a naughty symbols on there, but I'm sorry, but the mighty
context matters. Yes.
Yes. I mean, this is Jack Kirby's, war experience right here. So this comic a lot of it was based on it.
Yes, he used what he knew.
He did indeed. And iconic indeed. This one tells a story, doesn't it?
I love this one.
I love this cover. It's one of my favorites. For obvious reasons, I guess. Because it just speaks to me. What can I tell you? I mean, let's see here. What is that one? Okay, we're getting close to the top 10, folks. Top 10 will be very serious about. Always love this one. Could be higher, really. I mean, this is a great one right here. Baldwin.
Yes.
I mean, Fury. Nick Fury.
That's cool.
This next one, it's criminal that it's not in the top 10, but it's. I mean, it's great. This is one of the true great, Fantastic Four covers.
Yes, that is so good.
It is
pretty
just
much everything about that cover.
Urban. I mean, it's your backgrounds, your squiggles, your crackles, you got Galactus, your machines, yeah, and Psycho Man, faces, dramatic faces. I love Psycho Man, by the way. I don't know, something about the design of Psycho Man I always really like. This is pretty iconic. We get into icon territory with all these next ones, folks. This is, I know something about it. You have, Cap kind of coming back and being with, showing him with there's Bucky back there with the Howling Command. This is Nick Fury's comic, but Cap says, "Hey, I'm in charge here." Cap is taking center stage on Nick's comic there. So, my Nick Fury, the proper Nick Fury. Sorry, Samuel. Just kind of guy I am. What can I tell you? Bop, bop, bop. Oh, well, you got to go iconic again. And what's he doing with his hammer?
He's about to deck Loki with it.
He's spinning that sucker. That's right. Oh yeah, this is of course speaks for itself right there. And then let's see here. One more to go for the top 10. Interestingly enough, he had very little to do with this character, but this was another situation at the time because I'm a big Daredevil fan, where Stan everyone said we need Jack to do the cover. Bill Everett did a great job. I mean, he didn't, and he helped with the cover. And then the opening splash has that very same pose of Daredevil, but by Everett. But they wanted Kirby to do the cover. They said, please, we got to have Jack do the damn cover. Back then, they were slaving him. I mean, they were like everything. He had to do it all. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the top 10. Nice. So exciting. I know it's not really exciting, but we're top 10 time, Perp. All right. Okay.
Let's do it.
And contrary to popular belief, there's a DC here because we haven't been doing a lot of DC love. Someone mentioned this earlier. It's the only Commandy on the list, but there should be other ones. You can say what you want about him ripping Rod Serling, the ending of Planet of the Apes, but I just love this cover. And I love Commandy.
So this is a character I'm not familiar with.
Commandy, the last boy on Earth. Did you ever see a cartoon called Thundar the Barbarian?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Well, Kirby designed it, created it, and it was Steve Gerber helping him. Did most of the writing for it. They were ripped. It's ripped off from this pretty much.
Oh, okay.
But this takes place in the future of the DC universe, where he's the last boy on Earth, of course, and it lasted 40-something issues. Kirby did most of them. He created him. Did it like 30, 40. The last few that weren't by Kirby aren't that remarkable, but yes, it's just a future world where there are all these different, all of animals have all evolved into talking, walking, intelligent beings, and the last human boy on Earth is Commandy, and he survives them all. And they did a couple of the Justice Society straight to DVD video Blu-ray that just came out a couple of months ago that has a DC short on it. DC short and like 20-something minutes, 50-something minutes of Commandy the Last Boy on Earth, which kind of encapsulates a lot of it's pure Kirby. This cover here it opens up on this cover, like them homaging this cover. And if you ever get a chance to see that, it'll tell you most of what you need to know in a nutshell about Commandy. But he was also on some Batman Brave and the Bold episodes, which I love. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, we're at number 10 there, folks. We're keeping score till we got to our top 10. And this is just
iconic.
It's like iconic for all this top 10 here. I mean, something about this cover. As you know, he's gray. And Hulk was gray in the first issue. A few years ago, a cousin of mine called up and said he found a copy of this in his collection. I forget where he found it, at home, and it was in really good shape. And he asked me what would be worth and all this other kind of stuff. And he asked if I'd take a look at it. So he brought it over because I used to grade comics and stuff. And I looked at it for him, graded it for him. When I opened it up, I've graded a lot of old comics. I don't think I've looked at a Hulk and a Hulk #1 in a long time. All of the reprints recolored him green inside. But he's not green inside in the original.
Oh.
But they recolored him green. So, yeah, the gray Hulk. Shocker time, folks. We have another FF. Look out. Who's big?
And another oversized Doom.
Yeah, almost every time, right? I'm pretty much almost every time. If we, you know what? I'm going to do a deep dive on all the Kirby FF covers alone. All Kirby Doom covers. I bet you every one he's oversized.
I think so. It seems to be just the way
he
tried the character. Even if it, like you said with the other one, that it was just the perspective.
Yeah, it was still, exactly.
Still oversized.
I promise you, Purple, the next one's not an FF cover. I lied to you. It is.
Oh, but we've got Thor there as well.
Yeah, and he's what is he doing? What is he doing?
He's swinging his hammer.
This.
Are they building that building or taking it apart? I can't tell.
They're trying to stop Hulk from messing things up. So yeah, he's making a mess. And this was, other than that earlier, excuse me, number 12. This was one of the first. This is probably considered the first, if you don't count Hulk fighting the FF in that issue 12. This two-parter. I don't know if it started in the issue before. I think it started the issue before this, but this is considered like the first comic book crossover of Marvel ever did in terms of a group. Two established groups together and stuff. So here's kind of a weird one, and it's not weird, but it's an iconic cover. It's a character he never really messed with that much, but this cover, I mean, Ditko did his own version. They had Ditko do a version of this one. Ditko is the right artist for Spider-Man. Kirby was not necessarily the right artist for Spider-Man. And yet, this cover is better than Ditko's cover for Amazing Fantasy 15, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I like the Ditko one fine, but I mean, this one's perfect.
How did you feel about the webbing under his arms? Because some people love it, some people hate it.
It was the Ditko started that, I think, and I liked it. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not like it was a necessity or anything. Mm-hmm. And it was something. I guess it was kind of weird, but. I never had a strong feeling toward it one way. I just kind of liked it. What did you think?
Never really bothered me. Like you say, it's just an aesthetic thing, isn't it?
Yes, it's a style thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think artists first of all, artists had enough trouble doing all the webs and crap. Just like on the Thing, they hated all the rocks they had to draw. They hated after doing all the webs and everything. But at least they didn't do it on computers. Doesn't get much more iconic than this one.
Yes.
I have this on a shirt, of course. This one in the flying bathtub is the first time they get costumes, as you can see. After the first 2 issues, fans were loving the FF.
I love that you call the Fantastic Car a flying bathtub.
Well, it was sort of at first. I don't know where I got that, but many have said it, I guess. But you see, the fans were writing in saying this is great, but these, they were used to superheroes having costumes and stuff. So it's called costumes. They're really uniforms, splitting hairs. But so issue 3 is where the greatest comic magazine in the world. This is only above it slightly because the return of Cap.
Yes.
What is Thor doing?
Doing what he always does. I'm gonna have to challenge you to find a Kirby cover when he's not swinging the hammer. I think that would be more of a challenge.
I actually did. I think we showed a couple, but I'll have to back. Some of the one I think there was 1 or 2 we showed that did, but you're right. Usually, okay, folks. I'm biased. Sue me, but it's only at 3. It should be at 1, but it's 3.
Oh yes,
this monster. And I have to. Some wise guy always tells me, that's not been on the cover. Yeah, I know, but it's a great cover.
Yes, it is. It is a great cover.
But it's just windmill time for Thor. Something about it.
Again, the machinery in the background with the detail.
Oh God, yeah, yep. And the crackle on Reed is being lost in the Phantom Zone, and
there he goes.
And that's what's going on right there is a major story point in the comic, because lots of covers, many covers. In fact, there was a spoof cover. I forgot which comic it was in the 80s. That was making fun of old covers. It said on the cover, I forgot the comic. It says featuring no scene even remotely like this in this comic. And that's most comics. Usually, this is a crucial, pivotal point in the story, and it's on the cover. And now the next 2, you don't get. This are in the top 3 or 4. This is one of the, as far as most. I'm overusing the word, but too bad. Iconic, and they get much bigger than that right there.
Of course, everybody knows this cover.
Absolutely, and did you know that they did this about 3 or 4, maybe 5 months before Pearl Harbor, before America entered the war? They allowed a comic book to show them punching the world leader a world leader that we were not at war with yet. So I thought that was pretty bold on their part.
Yes. I mean, obviously, with good reason, but still, yeah, they really took a chance with that one.
Well, it's like the thing I was telling you about, and now I remember the story I was reading about recently. That political person that young Jack Kirby under the name of Teddy did the political cartoon on was his initials were AH, and he's on this cover. And the guy said, "Where do you get off doing something like that?" And he said, "I know a gangster when I see one." And that was many years before Kirby said that about, Jakob Kurtzberg said that about that person, that scumbag, many years before. And number 1, folks, again, if you can't guess number 1, you're fired. That's all I got to say. Anybody can. Are there better looking covers? Sure. Prettier covers? Sure. Less crude covers? Sure. But this ranks with the covers of Action Comics number 1 and Detective Comics number 27 as, and this might even have been, I don't want to use the word, parodied or homaged more than any cover, because I've talked about one time I posted like a whole bunch of pictures of covers that were knockoffs of this and homage type things, and this one's been parodied so much.
Yes, I mean, even this month it was a new version was released, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so. I have an Alex Ross poster of this, of course, and
Mhm.
so yeah, it's been so many times. This is incredible, and it's one of the most it's one of the most important. It's again amongst those covers that I mentioned. Those three are the three most important comics in comics history. I mean, comic book covers and comics too, and comic book covers and comics interiors in history. Like Cap's right up there with that Cap cover there. So this one is just so important. So I figured I had to put it at number one. It started it all. I mean, it started this thing right here, this cover, this simple little comic book right here, created billions upon billions of dollars. Unfortunately for a lot of jerk offs who stole it, but still, it did generate from if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's just do I have is I mean. This was sort of a favorites list, and it turned into. I think I had to go with significance here. I do. I just love this cover, and yes, I have it on a couple of shirts, of course.
Yes, I thought you might.
Oh yeah, Raj H with a 199 super sticker. Thank you so much, Raj. I appreciate that, and it's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you there, and yeah, I just love covers. I mean, I love me a Kirby cover. I love. Again, we're going to find one, I promise, folks, that doesn't have Thor swinging his hammer. Did we have one? I think we have one.
Did we have one? I thought they were all...
There was one. Let me see here. There was one back here that we saw where he was. Oh, I know. He's not swinging his hammer. He's getting swung at, in fact. You know what? I don't see. He does have the hammer. But he's getting smackarooski by the absorbing man.
Yes, before he could swing it.
Yeah, no swinging there. So, see, we found one. I knew there had to be one. Journey into Mystery. And this was a pop art production, by the way, see? So, get it? He's getting popped up. Sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, there was, I think, you know what? I think there was another one. Let me see. Where's that one with the there was that one with the big sword. Bop, 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 bop. Nope. I can't find that one now. One with oh, there it is. Let me see if he's
Nope,
yeah, he's that one too. Damn it. Well, at least we got one. Yes, Thor was a swinger. He was Matthew. He was a swinger. Oh man, but I love him, and I love a Kirby cover. Like I said, over 1,400, maybe 1,500 covers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a minor number. It's not like, well, when Flash and I, Purple, did our favorite movies, for example, our top 25, it killed us to leave some stuff off of there. But that's 25.
Yes.
It's still, but you have to keep your number somewhere. In a couple of weeks, a week from this Wednesday on Star Trek Day, that night, Raquel and I will pick our top 25 Star Trek original series episodes, and
nice.
that will be. It's tough. There's 79 episodes. There's some you hate to leave off, but movies are different. There are hundreds, a lot more movies and stuff. So it just depends on the list that you're doing, right? So now, of all these covers, did you have one that you? I mean, I know that you like the most, or what kind of cover do you gravitate towards when it comes just a Kirby cover, for example, or any kind of cover, really?
Well, I'm always going to go for anything that's got Dr. Doom on, obviously, especially if it's a Kirby cover, because he draws him larger than life, and I love that. That's how he's portrayed on his comic covers. But I also love the Silver Surfer. I love the space background that Kirby does. The color, the planets, the detail that he puts in.
Yes, that's what I love too. I love that he just. I was trying to find that one that one really cool. Oh, there we go. Yep. See this kind of stuff right here.
Yes, that exactly.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It really is. It really is. So, Spock's brain. Yeah. Spock's brain is number one. Now you're not supposed to spoiler things, Deepa. Thanks a lot.
You have to rewrite your list now, Clobby.
Yeah, now I got to change it. Good God, now I'm taking it off of there. How about now I'm taking it off my list? Thanks a lot, dude. No, yeah, Spock's brain. Yeah, yeah. Well, alternative factor may be worse, folks, but but yeah. Again, there's so many. Like I said, maybe one day I'll do like a top FF covers. Now that would be really tough. He did 102 issues. You know how many FF covers that I was when I was going through this again. I'm going, oh my God, because I don't know what the percentage is. I'm not saying 50% or anything, but a gigantic percentage of the ones I just did were FF covers. Were Fantastic Four. That had to be the biggest, but that was his baby. I mean, that was
yes.
It was. I mean, Thor as well, but like I say, I still don't know why that sword is so damn big, but I love it.
Well, maybe they're tiny.
Well, maybe they made that could be it, or they made it to kill Galactus. Because see, there's Recorder there, so this was part of a Galactus story. Maybe they thought they could stab Galactus or some shit. I wouldn't know because I haven't read this one in good God forever. Yeah, Pat. Oh, let's see. Oh, what is it? Are they issuing warnings again? I mean, we're in the calm before the storm right now. And look, there's the God of Thunder. Maybe he can help us with. He can swing that damn hammer and knock that stupid hurricane out. How about that? Wouldn't that be fun?
That would work.
Yeah.
D-Bud says it's the Odin Sword. If it's unsheathed, it will bring about Ragnarok.
There you go. Thank you. The man of iron speaks. Odin Sword. That's a big sucker. Even it's bigger than Volstagg. Look at that. And so there's the Warriors 3 there. There's the Balder over there. So yeah, that's. I mean, I can look at Kirby covers all day. They're amazing and stuff. So, and Doom. He's bigger. Like I said, I think I found one cover where he was normal size.
Yes, there are a couple that I can think of off the top of my head, but I just love that generally he's oversized on all of the covers.
Yep, on FF 200, he's because he's fighting Reed, so yeah, right there he's still bigger than Reed. I mean, but yeah, that's different because he's in like a confrontation there with Reed, which is, by the way, spoiler alert, that's not really Doom, but okay, sorry, if I remember right. I'm sorry. I think it's Kristoff. Well done. Yeah, I do believe it is. That was part of that saga going on. I like when was it? I don't know if you read when Simonson, like somewhere in the 90s, brought back. He did it for a short time, and he had Doom comes to Earth and he realized he'd been gone for a long time. And I mean, and he was saying that he'd been gone for a lot of the different Doom stories, and Doom. The real Doom comes back and he sees all this crap going on that had happened, and it was almost Simonson's way of taking a swipe at all the dumb stuff they were doing in comics. Doing the comics to the FF, that is. And so Doom was like criticizing, this cannot be real. Something else going, I don't know. But I think that was Kristoff. I will not. Thank you, Comic Relief Crusader, the Jack Kirby Museum. I don't have a link right now. The Comic Relief Crusader, but we love the Jack Kirby Museum. They do amazing work, and there are a couple of different great YouTube channels. There's of course I think Museum has a channel. I like the Kirby Continuum channel as well. I don't know if they're related to them or not, but yes, thank you for that. Absolutely, they do a lot. I mean, look, they keep Kirby alive. Well, because he will always be alive to us. So yeah, there's one right there that Kirby with the crackle and stuff. I mean, he just, for me, I mean, Barry Wintersmith said it right. Says Jack can't do an uninteresting page. I mean, he just can't. I mean, it's just, it's always just filled with stuff. I mean, like this one here. It looks at background. It's spooky. It's Bruce Banner is the Hulk. What? And it's got Bruce Banner's spirit right there for some reason. It's been a while since I've read that. But, and then for some reason, Orion's a giant because look at that city there. Behind the perspective on this one's kind of funny because they got like a city.
I like the little characters crawling up the buildings.
Yeah, whatever they are. Yeah, they're those. I don't know what those things are. They must be I can't remember what they are now. But there's something. So there's something, folks. Well, I tell you what, Purple, we've kept everybody for a good while here on a Saturday, and I didn't mean to keep you that long, but I love hanging out with you, and I'm sorry we had I had a bad start at the beginning, everyone, with my sound and all, but summing up, I just want to say a great creator who did so much for everyone, the great Jack Kirby, the king of comics, was born on this day, 1917, 104 years ago. Just as a couple of weeks ago, we celebrated the great Gene Roddenberry on what would have been his 100th. 104 years ago. And yet he passed, of course, now that would have been, 1994. So, and he was just, he's done so much. It means so much to so much of my identity is geekness, I got to admit. And so much of it, I mean, there are other things, obviously, that I love that he didn't have anything to do with. But my main thing is, of course, what Jack Kirby has done for me, for comics. So, Michael Beacom, sorry. Good to see you there. Thank you for popping in. Any last words about the King of Comics there, Purple?
As you say, his work is legendary. He will be remembered for many, many years to come. You can't think comics with not thinking Jack Kirby. I adore his backgrounds. I love his characters, the emotion that he brought to them. And a very, very happy birthday to him. I wish he was still with us.
I do too. And I wish he'd gotten to see obviously it would have been painful for him in a sense because so much was, in my opinion, and the opinion of many, stolen from him. But if he'd gotten to see just how big these characters have become, because they were big in comics, circles. But Joe Simon, right before he passed, the co-creator of Captain America, who co-created Captain America with Kirby, got to see the first Captain America movie before he passed. Jack Kirby, folks. Jakob Kurtzberg, Jack Kirby, was also a war hero in World War II. And I would recommend it for any of you who have not seen it. Please seek out the documentary that was just came out a couple of years back called Kirby at War. It's a beautiful, disturbing, but beautiful documentary that he tells a lot of his pretty harrowing stories of his time during the war serving our country. Shout out to all you great heroes who serve our country in the military. You have every respect here. We love you. And you defenders of freedom, and Jack Kirby was one of them. He was in Patton's battalion. And this documentary does a wonderful job of talking about not only his experiences in the war, but how his experiences in the war affected his art. And you could really see it. This thing puts into perspective that. So
yeah, similar to Tolkien, he took his own personal experiences and used it within his work.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see it. And again, let's see here. Michael Beacom says, would you want Jack Kirby to see one of the Fantastic Four movies? Oh, hell no. Out of appreciation and consideration for the man that I am, glad he is not here to see the MCU. Well, I think, see, the thing about Jack was he's such a nice guy. He wouldn't have said, that sucks, you guys. He was so nice. He wouldn't have done that. That's for fans to do. So he would have been nice enough to him, and that just the kind of guy he was. He wouldn't call anyone out. But I hear you, Michael Pinkham. I know what you're saying. Now, Fan Forstick, he might be pissed off.
Yes, and rightly so.
Yeah, Fan Forstick would piss him off. You couldn't. It's tough to decide which character gets screwed in that one the most. Doom or Ben or they all do. I mean,
they all do. Yeah, they all do. It's terrible.
Well, Doom is a blogger and he wears a garbage bag with aluminum foil on his face. So I might argue that Doom got the worst, and that's saying something. But
it's such a terrible movie.
Oh, I didn't think he could be worse than the way they did Doom in the Sony movies. But he's perfect compared to that. So yeah, Jack would not have approved. I mean, I don't know if Stan ever commented on it, but yeah, Fan Forstick is just an abomination, and it's a good thing it didn't have the abomination in it. But yeah, but still, it would have been nice for him to have seen Captain America get made. Yeah, he wouldn't have liked seeing Galactus as a cloud, though. Now, I agree with that, Michael. Beacom, The Incredibles is a great Fantastic Four film.
Mm-hmm,
I love it.
It is. Yep.
That's the FF. Right. Well, closest we're ever going to get. But we do. And we do, Purple, though, still have that second season of the Fantastic Four cartoon from the 90s. For those of you who have not seen that, in the 90s, and most of you probably have, but I'm just saying if you have not, and if you want to see something the FF treated well outside of the early 60s cartoon by the Patty Freeling, whatever, that was at least very adapted episodes, adapted comics, and was faithful in a lot of ways. The first season of the 90s FF cartoon is absolute pig's will and a disgrace and garbaggio, but the second season is my happy place. I might go watch some later. I mean, it just makes me happy, Purple. I can click on any episode, but I don't know. I think the Thing Hulk one's my favorite. Well, duh. I think the Thing Hulk episode might be the one that, I could pop. It doesn't matter how down I am. I could pop that one on, and that's going to make me smile. I adore it. But so many. They're all great. Even the Clips episode. They had a clip episode.
Yes, I remember that episode.
We know the clip episode does have a story in it. I mean, it does have new stuff too. But yeah, they saved money with a bunch of damn clips. But it's still got the Possible Man in it. So, So what can you do? And I love the last episode where Doom steals Silver Surfer's powers, quote unquote, again. He could steal those powers, couldn't he? Yeah. And the way Reed beat him was kind of funny. So, well, everyone, I tell you what, I want to thank you all for being here with us today. And it has been loads of fun celebrating Jack's birthday. Let's see here. Quick show note. Bop, bop, bop. Let's see. Tonight, as always, on Saturday night Star Trek, 4 more episodes with the wonderful, my wonderful first officer, Raquel Briggs. So, yeah, we're getting through Next Generation. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through these trying times. So I'll leave this up here while I say goodbye to everyone. Look, Fantastic Four #1 covers in general by Kirby. They're just amazing. I hear you, Michael Beecham. But you know who's more amazing than that? And that is the wonderful Purple Valkyrie for hanging out with me tonight. Purple, because I know it's night for you. And I just can't thank you enough. I've had so much fun talking to you. I always do.
Oh, Clobby, you're too kind. It's been my honor to join you. Thank you so much. Honestly, thank you for having me.
And you just know I'm definitely going to be trying to cook up an excuse to get you back on soon, because we've got to think of something to talk about and just hang out. Because again, I know it's late for this. Like today, it's relatively early because of my time. But you come on late in the all hours of the morning to hang out with me many times, and I always appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure to join you, and big thank you to the chat today. You guys are awesome.
Absolutely. Chat, my wonderful friends out there, thank you so much. The great D. Bud Martin, Punk Waddle, Stephen Thompson, the great Steve Mitchum. You're not fooling anyone with that name. You're Purple Clobberin's Uncle Thoth. He's got a fun name. The great D with the C, Michael Beacom. Thank you so much. Phantom Outsider, buddy. Lord Thought, the great OLT, Matthew Pellner, Glinzer. Let's see here. Max Field Von Priestley, VIP. I'm MVP, and you're a VIP here. I'm sorry, I can't talk. Matt S. I'm just kidding. It's Pat S. Gozatron, Brightest Day was here. The wonderful Raquel was here earlier. Dadman, brother, Dadman Walking, my good buddy, Nirada Naxamanda Bear. Thank you so much. The Comic Relief Crusader, thank you. Store to Poopas was here. Thank you so much. I hope I got I know I forgot some people probably because this chat only goes back so far, my friends. But Raj H, thank you. R. Feliciano, thank you. And Sandra Feliciano, thank you for popping in. It was great to see you all. Yeah, and D. Oberg, brother, always a pleasure. Eastland Burkholder, thank you. A big thanks to the Drusif as well for popping in. I wanted to get everyone in there. Janet, the wonderful, lovely Janet from Another Planet was here as well. I think I got most everyone there that I could. Your Muslim uncle, brother, appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you all. You are all fantastic. That's my 900th show there, and
that's amazing. Congratulations.
Isn't that weird? Well, 1,000 shouldn't be far off, huh? I mean, the way I've been doing so I'll get there. Let's see. I did 800 back in I don't know, it was back in March or something. So yeah, 1,000 will come up soon. Everyone have a great rest of the day, and I hope I will see any of you Trekkers out there on Saturday Night Star Trek. And of course, as always, a big shout out to the great Stu Loki for my outro intro. Happy birthday, Jack. I love you. Good night. Good day, everyone. Yes, indeed. And everyone have a